What is happening, sports fans? Two-man man Matt from the DFS 5-pack. I'm rocking it solo. It is Wednesday, January 5th. We got 11 NBA games to talk over tonight. I just dropped the members-only video for our members. Here to talk over 5 guys I liked a lot from the slate. As always on these massive NBA slates, there's a ton of good plays, more good plays than you're going to be able to play, especially in one lineup or however many you play. Know that going in, and know that if you can't pay attention until the last game locks, I really wouldn't play heavy. That's just the nature of the beast with NBA DFS right now. Know that going in. It's just ever evolving with all the COVID news and injury news, health and safety protocols, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of guys are coming back, guys are going out. So it's just really important you're able to pay attention and stay up to date on news. Before I dive into this slate, however, give me 1 second, guys. Before I hop into this slate, I'm going to shout out our promoters and sponsors real quick. So first off, Jazz Sports. You guys know the deal by now. When you sign up and join Jazz Sports, you get a no-risk wager up to $1,000 on your first bet. That's $1K back if your first wager is graded a loss. You just really can't beat that deal. I recommend everyone check that out. The link will be in the description section of the video. The promo code is 5-pack. And then Loose Lines. Loose Lines is an affiliate of Jazz Sports. They offer really, really good lines and odds over there, reduced juice, and a ton of other perks. When you deposit over at Loose Lines, you also get 50% off your first deposit. So, again, another one I recommend everyone check out. I'd appreciate it if you use promo code 5-pack. The links for both will be in the description section of the video. With that being said, let's talk over some NBA. So, again, 5 plays. I didn't want to go too outside the box here just because there's so many plays tonight. I don't think ownership's going to get too crazy. And I think a mistake people often make in NBA DFS is trying to get too different. Unlike baseball, where I think being different is, worth a lot. In basketball is just much more projectable. So I think paying attention to the projections just makes a lot more sense. And as far as that goes, 2 guys I have a real hard time getting away from, at least on paper. Certainly in cash games, I think in tournaments, you're fading them at your own risk, and that's going to be both Indiana point guards, Kiefer, Sykes, and Dwayne Washington Jr. Starting with Sykes, so coming off the best game he'll probably ever have in the NBA, dropped 39 and a half DK points. Didn't do really anything crazy, just shot really well, had 6 dimes, 4 boards. This is a kid who played ball at University of Green Bay, Wisconsin. University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, excuse me. And he kind of has, clawed and scrapped his way into the NBA, getting a shot with the Pacers here. Might not have too much longer to play with Brogdon and Duarte looming on coming back, and I doubt LeVert will be out for too long. So making the most of his opportunity, and with the price drop from last night, he's a no-brainer. I think you start your cash games with Sykes, and again, in tournaments, there's a lot of good guards in play, and you can only play, 4 point guards max, or 3 point guards max, excuse me. As far as, on paper, like I said, though, Sykes is right at the top of the short list. No reason for his price to have gone down. And I could say the same for Dwayne Washington, who, again, maybe a little bit more solid than spectacular, but at 3,800, what are you really looking for? I mean, 21 plus in 3 straight games. Hasn't even shot it well except for that one game. Outside the game where he shot 4 of 9, he's 1 of 13 from 3. So obviously there's room for a lot more upside here. This kid was good at Ohio State, getting a chance now with all the injuries and protocol, got all the guys out for protocol issues in Indiana. Again, get up spot for Brooklyn, or for Indiana, facing a Kyrie back Brooklyn team tonight. I think the Pacers get up for this spot, and I like Washington a lot at 3,800. Again, in cash games, I think you're just starting your lineups with Sykes and Washington. You could do a lot worse than going there in tournaments as well. And the next guy I think we just plug in and move on is going to be Anthony Simon. So talked about him a lot last slate. Ended up playing 38 minutes, dropped 60 DK points. I don't expect that. I mean, Simons has been in the league for a while. He's not really a 60 DK point a night type of guy. But with no Lillard, no McCollum, he's the guy in the backcourt. So at 5,300, he's just too cheap for his current role. Miami's also missing a ton of bodies, so their defense isn't nearly what it is when they're at full strength. Simons looks like just as much of a lock as Sykes and Washington, just a little bit more expensive, but he's also got shooting guard eligibility, which really, really helps his cause. All right, moving on down to another guy from Indiana. That's going to be Domentos Sabonis, however you want to say it. Coming off probably one of the worst games he'll have last night, maybe his worst game of the season. Played close to 40 minutes and only ended up with 29 and a half DK points. Just didn't play particularly well. Didn't shoot free throws well, made 0 threes. no blocks, no steals. That's an aberration. You check the game log from the games before that. I'm a huge Sabonis fan. Like I mentioned with the point guards, this is a get-up spot for the Pacers. And with no LeVert and no Brogdon, Sabonis is just their best player. Going to be asked to shoulder a huge load tonight in a game I think the Pacers can win. I like Sabonis a lot here. I wouldn't say he's like my top stud on the slate, but he's not priced like a true stud. At under 10K still, he works in any type of lineup construction. I think we just plug him in and chug along. All right, last but not least, probably the guy getting the least amount of love of these five, that's going to be Jusuf Nurkic. So again, came back and played 26 minutes on Monday night. I'd only expect that to increase. Second game back, no Larry Nance tonight. Again, already mentioned no Lillard and McCollum. They need his usage. He's their best player. He's the best player on the floor for Portland tonight. Dropped 46 in his return in a game that Portland won. I think you see a similar effort tonight against a shorthanded Miami team who's starting Yurt 7 at center and really has no one behind him. Missing Bam, missing Jimmy Butler, obviously no Dedmon. I think this game has all the signs to be competitive, high scoring, with Nurk playing potentially 30-plus minutes. So I like Nurk in all formats. Obviously, he takes a center spot. Those are coveted. Probably tournament preferred, just given the ownership. But I think you can make a strong case for him in all formats. A lot to like about him here at this price point. I'm all on board, and I think this game has a ton in play if you kind of just want to wait and get most of your exposure here. Even with 11 games, I think this last game is the one with the most in play. So that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want more content, more me, more write-ups, more videos, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. While you're there, while you're scrolling the net, go check out Loose Lines and Jazz Sports. Check out the link in the description section and use the promo code 5-pack. So appreciate you guys as always. Have a great rest of your hump day. We'll catch you tomorrow.